It is our job as scientists to accurately represent our data to others, and as such, part of that is explaining where the errors in your measurements really truly lie. So if we have a calibration curve like the one you see right here and it looks so beautiful, you need to explain that there is error in your measurements and how big those errors are. And so including in that, it's good and useful to learn how to add error bars to a scatter plot. So for the sake of this experiment, I made really big errors for my data just so you could see the error bars really well. And so these are completely made up error bars, but it will work for our data. And so this is the graph that we made in a previous video, and now let's add error bars to our graph. So to add error bars to our graph, you will click on the X in the top right hand corner and add chart element of error bars. And now you have beautiful error bars, and now you're all done. Just kidding, you're not. Those are completely made up with made up error bars. So those are error bars that are based on standard error. So they said, oh, there is the same error for every bit of this experiment, and it just assumes it's some percentage of the number itself. That's why they're all the same. So if you just add error bars that look like this, your teacher will know immediately, because they're all the exact same size, that it's not truly the error that's associated with your work. So to do this, we need to delete one of our two errors, because in our case, I'm not reporting any of my x-axis errors, even though there is probably error associated with this concentration. For the sake of this experiment, we only have one type of error, and it's a y error, meaning this peak error, this peak area is 500,000 plus or minus 600,000. Okay, so obviously, very big error bar, but that's just what we're doing purposely for this experiment. Alright, so what that means is we can just click on our X error bar and we can hit delete, and we know it's X because it's going along with the x-axis. And now the Y error bars are going up and down with the y-axis, and so these are the ones that we would change. But notice, like I said before, they're all the exact same. So how do we change it and make it match the error that was reported with our experiment? To do that, you click Custom, specify value, and now it's going to ask us what is the X error, the positive and the negative error value. And what you do is you want to put the same values in for both the positive and the negative. For the most part, for you, they'll be the same value. So I click that error, and then I just go select my data. And then do the same thing. I click the little arrow, and then I go select my data. And I'll know if I did this all right if when I hit OK, I look at my error bars and they're all different sizes. And that's a really good sign that they are correct, or at least it matches the data that you have put in. Because for the most part, your error bars on each data point are not going to be the same. They're all going to be different. And that is how you add error bars to a scatter plot.